Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Thursday, April 24th, 2025, pre-market report. Let's start off with this. Goldman Sachs, is this a warning? I'm asking you, is this a warning or a promise? Goldman Sachs sees the dollar falling another 25 to 30% from here. The dollar could fall another 25 to 30% from here. Goldman Sachs chief economist, so and so, took to the pink-hued pages of the Financial Times to argue to an international audience that the US dollar will fall further. Okay, 25 to 30% from here. Think about what that means for you. I believe you're absolutely right. And I'm going to tell you something else. That's not going to end at all. It's going to go much lower as we move forward. That's what they're doing, man. They're destroying us from the inside. I mean, we are being wiped out from within. Now, I'm going to give you guys and girls some other information I think you're going to appreciate. This is in your inbox right now. If you subscribe to my newsletter, it's 100% free. Link in the description of this video. I wrote this before I even knew about this. So, look, man, let's just cover this. Endgame, currency crisis, hyperinflation, rationing. I mean, you want to look. Do you think this is not? Right now, we're in a currency crisis. We're in a liquidity crisis. We're in an everything crisis right now. We're in a crisis of lies. And we're going to talk more about that in just a second here. Some of you probably know what I'm talking about. You know what, hold that thought because it's kind of mind-blowing. So let me just real quick, before I move on, is this a warning or is this a promise? You think Goldman Sachs, the super bank of super banks, maybe knows a little more than we do? Well, not more than you and I know, because we are locked in. So anyway, as I said, let me read this to you real quick. And, a lot of this is review, but especially in light of what Goldman just said, we need to pay more attention. So people, you know this, I've been telling you for 1,000 years. The system is debt-based and it must expand or die, inflate or die. That's the mantra of central banks. And I can promise you, they're not going to die. They're not going to allow themselves to die. They got puppet presidents working with them to allow them to inflate, calling for lower rates, weaker dollar. This isn't just here in the United States. This is around the world. And the mechanism here, it's just too in our face. So here we go. More government borrowing equals what? Obviously higher interest costs. Every year the government must borrow more just to stay afloat. Imagine our shock. That's the nature of the system. That means more of our tax dollars go towards interest, not fixing roads, helping families, or building any kind of a future. We're building a dystopian environment for all of us, unfortunately. Now, of course, the Federal Reserve must and will step in. To keep rates low, you know how this works. The Fed doesn't have a magic wand. To keep rates low, they have to get into the market and make it happen. They have to buy the debt. They create currency out of nothing. They buy the debt. So to keep rates low and the system from cracking, the Fed buys government debt. This means more money printing and debt monetization. Are we all on the same page? What follows? I'm going to give you one guess. Inflation. Oh, yes, but it's only temporary and transitory. You can't make that up either. The dollar dies slowly in your pocket. What used to cost $100 5 years ago is now $125, and that's about right. Okay, they're telling us inflation is 2%. It's 3%, whatever it is, compounded year after year. Do the math. I mean, come on, man. It's way, way higher than what they're telling us. It probably is 25%. Anyway, this is not coincidence. This is engineered theft. This is grand theft on an unimaginable scale. What happens, people? What happens? The middle class gets gutted, as it's meant to do. Wages don't keep up with inflation, of course. Essentials, housing, groceries, insurance, fuel become luxuries. Home ownership, savings, and security vanish for the average family. Does this sound about exactly what's happening right now? Yeah, it does. More crises. Massive deficits mean the government has less room to respond to future recessions, disasters, or wars. And then when the next shock hits, what are they going to do? Well, they'll respond with more money printing. The end game, people, currency crisis for which we are in one. Hyperinflation, rationing, loss of the reserve status of the US dollar. It's happening right before your freaking eyes. This is the final act of empires, people. This is the final act of empires. We are witnessing the final act of empires. This empire is being brought to its knees deliberately. You know that. only to issue in a new system of control by the puppet masters. And you know who they are. We covered it yesterday. Who's pulling the strings? Did you see that video? Anyway, this is not accidental, people. It is the consequence of decades of engineered dependency, greed, and monetary distortion. The middle class is the sacrificial fuel to keep the debt machine alive. You think I nailed it with this one? Look, I'm not looking to toot my own horn, but does this sound right to you? People know the truth when they hear it. So we're going to move forward here. So we got this thing here from Goldman Sachs. This is epic, and I think they're spot on. Now let's talk about our own Congressional Budget Office, what they don't want you to know, except it's hidden in plain sight. Congressional Budget Office. Let's see what the Congressional Budget Office has to say. Are you ready for this? I always tell you, the truth is hidden in plain sight. Here we go. Fiscal year 2025 deficit. Are you ready? Projected at 1.9 trillion or 6.2% of GDP. This is their own numbers. This isn't what I'm making up. This is what they're allowing you to know. So you know it's worse. But let's just do this anyway. Again, projected 1.9 trillion or 6.2% of GDP, making this the third highest in U.S. history outside of wartime. We are in a war in Yemen. Outside of wartime or other crisis periods. Think about what I just said. Total national debt, listen to this. You know this already. Now standing at 36.56 trillion, with debt held by the public is skyrocketing. It says here at 29 trillion. Obviously, this is something wacky here, but this is now rising by their own numbers at the fastest pace on record. Interest payments. Annual interest costs have soared to 582 billion, consuming 16% of the total federal spending. This is a new record. This is their own numbers, people. Their own numbers. Don't even listen to me anymore or yourself. Now, I got some other interesting information before we move forward. So right now, 6 weeks in, we're in a new war in Yemen. All right, you wouldn't know that because you don't see it anywhere on the media outlets. They're not allowed to cover it. Again, this is a mechanism, this new war, to pull debt into the system to allow it to function because the debt-based system must inflate or die. On the same page as me? I got a breakdown here so far of what this has cost us. Let's talk about this. So, estimated cost of the U.S.-Yemen war, 6 weeks in. Airstrikes and munitions, hundreds of Tomahawk missiles costing $1.5 million each, and guided bombs used. Estimated 500 plus so far precision strike munitions have already been deployed. Cost of 750 million to 1 billion. I think that's way low. Okay, but these are the numbers that they're allowing us to know. Carrier groups and naval deployment. At least one full carrier strike group active in the region. Daily cost 6 to 8 million per day. 6 weeks, do the math, okay? Drones, ISR, refueling missions. Constant surveillance, targeting, fueling from bases in wherever the heck this place is. UAE estimated 150 to 200 million. Logistics, contractors, damage assessment, intel, behind the scenes ops, intel analysts, and base operations estimated 1 to 200 million. These are the numbers they want us to know about. I believe these numbers are 10 times higher than the numbers they want us to know. Am I wrong? Now, how about this one? Do you remember just a couple of days ago, 2 days ago, we had our illustrious Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. He came out and says, hey, everyone, a trade deal with China is not too far off. I told you it was fake news. I said that they floated this out to stop the bleeding in the market. Well, it turns out that was true. China says there's no ongoing trade talks with the United States. Let's see. At present, there are absolutely no negotiations on the economy and trade between the United States and China coming from the Ministry of Commerce spokesman from China, whatever this guy's name is, because I can't say it. So as we all know, that was propaganda. We were lied to yet again from whatever this is, our government, from Bessent over here, our Treasury Secretary, who's nothing but a peddler of U.S. debt, but now he's working with our illustrious president here to lie to you yet again. Lies, deceptions, distractions. Look here. So, no talks, but we're close to a deal. That's what Bessent said. How about this one? Confidence on Trump's handling of the U.S. economy plummets. We have no economic policy. What's our economic policy? Tariffs, which Trump is now the caveman because he's caving on everything. So we got here tariffs and currency purchasing power destruction, calling for lower rates here. That's our monetary policy. We got bigger problems than I think most of us actually can understand. So anyway, guys and girls, listen. That's kind of where we're at. Let's talk a little further about this market. So we got the dollar resuming its downtrend. Now, according to Goldman Sachs, not Gregory Mannarino, we got another 25 to 30% to fall. That's just freaking lovely. 10-year yield, okay, still wavering around. If we stick here, that would be okay, but I don't think we're going to, I'll be honest with you. Stock futures are lower across the board. This bounce that we've had, first off, Besant saying a deal with China, it's close, but now China's saying there are no talks, which we all knew anyway. We knew it was a lie. But let me ask you, now that the lie has been revealed, do you think Besant is going to be held to account for that lie? Of course not, because it came right from the top, right from President Trump. He said, let's lie. I don't want to be saying this, so let's use you. Let me puppetize you because I'm the ultimate puppet. That's what President Trump is saying. His strings are being pulled here. You understand what I'm talking about, of course. So they floated Besant out to tell you that lie, that a deal was close. And the market rallied, the Dow rallied about 1,000 points. And then, of course, yesterday we found out that Trump and Powell are friends again. And Trump has no intention at all of firing the man. And then the market put on the Dow put on another like 450 points. But it's a game. The market smells garbage. I know it's garbage. You know it's garbage. The market's not done falling. We have no economic policy. Oh, yes, we do. It's tariffs and a weaker dollar. That's not an economic policy. Bing, bing, bing. Time to wake up, everybody. But that's why stocks are low here. Gold and silver are mixed. Gold and silver need to drop here. Okay, we need a correction. We haven't had one. We need a correction. We need a new bottom, and it's going to skyrocket. You all know that. Same thing here with most of the cryptocurrencies here. They're down right now, but this is exactly what you would expect to see. So let me ask you guys and girls, does any of this surprise you, what we just covered here? Does it surprise you that we got this kind of information from the Congressional Budget Office, that debts and deficits are skyrocketing at their fastest pace we've ever seen? The projected deficit for this year alone is going to be the third highest in history. Oh no, but Doge is going to save the day. But let's see, Elon Musk is going to be spending more time at Tesla now. How'd you like all those arrests? All those people that were put in handcuffs? Did you like that? Did you like the clawed back funds that were misallocated? Did you like to see those marched in front of you who were responsible for it all? It was all a lie as well. How many of you bought it? How many of you actually, I know many of you did. It was a lie yet again. Anyway, I think there's really good information. If this is in your inbox right now, people, share it. Does it bother you that you were lied to by Besant? Bothers me too. And again, there's no economic policy here. Zero. Tariffs and a weaker dollar, that's not economic policy. It's an economic joke. And you know who the joke is on? It's not on you or me. It's not on you and me, because you and I knew it before this whole thing happened. We already said it. Whoever they selected, there was no election. Whoever they selected would be the biggest traitor to the United States in the history of this nation. And, of course, they chose the guy who swore an oath to those who run the entire world here. The families I outlined for you yesterday, the corporations, that's who runs it all. They control it all, including elections, selections, and everything else. Go watch the video I did yesterday for you, post-market, my live wrap-up. I outline it all. And I've already heard from many of you, and you've said you've never seen anything as in-depth as that. And people, look, man, I do my research, okay? And I don't put this stuff out just because I think it's all well and good and fun and happy. I put it out because I think it's important for us to actually know. what's going on so we can take action. He says, what are we going to do against this? If we know the dollar, according to Goldman Sachs, not Greg Mannarino, is going to get decimated moving forward, what do you want to do? You want to stay in that dollar? You want to stay in the unit of debt? No, of course you don't. You want to get out. You want to be betting against the system, holding hard assets, silver, Greg's favorite asset of all time. You want to be making the right connections with the right people. You want to reconnect with the sources. Well, people, come on, man. We could go on and on and on. Anyway, look, man, the system is failing not because this is an accident or a comedy of errors. We are being deliberately driven into the ground. But you know what? We're rising. We are rising. This family that we've built around the world of lions, we are rising and our voice is getting heard because you guys and girls are sharing this work. You're getting it out there. You're commenting. You're giving these videos a thumbs up so the algorithms will pick it up if I've earned that here. And I would say I'm working my hardest at this, people. I really hope that I have earned a thumbs up from you here. Again, watch for the detractors. Watch for the nonsensical trolls. These are not human. Again, the system is being run by a non-human entity. And I told you exactly who this was yesterday. I broke this all down for you. So if you haven't seen that video I did yesterday, I'm going to urge you to watch it. Who's pulling the strings? You're going to know exactly who's pulling the strings. You're going to know who owns the central banks, who runs the system. All right, guys, man. We got this. I don't care what they do because we are rising. The lions are rising and we're rising fast. This channel is growing because of you. We got this. I've been telling you that for 1,000 years. Let them play their games. We're going to play our games as well. We're invincible. We are freaking invincible. Love you guys. I'll see you later, 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern for the live stream.